This is Deano with Twisted Mesquite Land Cattle. Today we're doing a video with Deano. We're going over some groundwork and then riding him, showing him where we are in our program. We've rode him a few times in this round pen already, just putting the foundation, putting the basic stuff on, and then we are moving forward from there. So we saddled him, had him tied saddled. I'm just gonna do some groundwork, get his feet moving. He certainly has a little attitude generally in the mornings when you first get him out. And all of that is just some disrespect that keeps coming out. That's where the pinning his ears comes out. That's where that nipping, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It's disrespectful. Like, it's disrespectfulness. This head throwing, all that stuff. It's just him throwing a fit because you want him to do something. And so the more we put his feet to work, make him work, the more we do that, the more of his respect we earn. And that reactiveness is just a little bit more of that. Just him throwing a fit, not wanting to move out. No big deal. You know, that's what the groundwork is important. Foundation and groundwork, where you can get in their mind while you're on the ground, get them over all that nonsense, and then when you get on them, then you're in a good place, and he's in the right frame of mind, and you can make some good progress. Whereas if you didn't get that stuff out on the ground, you're gonna have to get it out on the saddle, in the saddle. Just getting after him a little bit more there. He's already starting to level out a little bit, get his mind back to him. He's finally figuring out how to move his front end. Use his front end there. So after I yield change directions there, step in front, and I want him to move that hindquarters through that turn, and then he's getting a little overreactive to it, and so he's deciding to lope off. See, he's loping out of it. So he's just thinking through it. He's a little over concerned about it, a little worried about it, so just letting him. We're doing it, stepping in front, making him move that hindquarters out, changing directions, and then letting him get to the other side and trot. That's just getting into his mind. That exercise right there will show you if there's a little bit of reactiveness kind of hiding under the surface. Generally those horses will show it in that exercise right there. So I like how he's paying more attention to me, getting softer on this lead rope, looking at me, paying attention. So we're on this horse, reminding this horse of our flexing. We work this every time we get on him. I'm gonna hold him here. He needs to stop his feet, stop moving. There, and get soft. Stop his feet and get soft. Okay. So again, the foundation of what we're doing with this horse is teaching him to move off of our legs. So I squeeze with my legs. I want him to move forward. I steer him around. He's starting to steer around a little bit, give this rein. And then when I take my feet off and sit down, I want this horse to stop and get soft. I want to be able to do that pretty well in this round pen, at a walk and a trot at least. Ideally a lope as well, and be able to rub all over this horse, be free. He's willing, he's comfortable with me in this round pen. Everything's good to go before we take him into the big pen. Like we had a couple of these horses this week that we took in the big pen. We showed you some videos, kind of where they were at that point, and he's not far behind. I do want to get a little bit of this attitude out of him a little bit more. And that'll just, the more we work with him, gaining his respect, the more that attitude will go away. So I like how low-headed he is right here. He's moving free. We can kind of steer him around. He thought it was a one-rein stop, no problem. Again, we're just looking for this fluidity. So just things moving fluidly. He's moving fluidly. He's taking direction, steering around, and stopping, and then going again. And all this, we're just getting some fluidity through here. Where he's riding around and doing what we ask in a responsive, respectful manner. Take my feet off, ask him to stop. There. There. It's pretty slow stuff right now at this time, but we're building, as I said, we're building that foundation. If a horse can't walk around, walk, trot, lope, stop, without bucking or carrying on or, any of that stuff, well, what are you even doing? Like, why are you trying to work on anything more advanced than that? If this horse can't walk, trot, lope, stay between your legs a little bit, go where you point him, and then stop when you ask in a relaxed manner. That's kind of it's like, well, we got to have that point. We got to have that first. And he trotted off without me asking. I'm gonna bring him back down. See, I let him make the mistake, and then I showed him, say, hey, no, slow back down, and because I just want you to walk up. So if any time, there's sometimes I'll use it if I'm moving a horse forward and I'm riding him and some of that disrespectfulness comes out and he doesn't want to move forward. Sometimes if I don't think it's a good idea to get that out, like to handle that in the saddle right then, I might step off and make him move his feet, get to moving his feet. Sometimes you come up with that with those studs. They get penny-eared and disrespectful, they say, no, you're not going to move my feet. And so sometimes you can just step off, make them move their feet, work their feet, work them pretty good, and then step back on and say, okay, go off, walk off. And they walk off, no problem. Because you went. And we're about to do that with him just now. And all that is, like I said, it's just a horse that been used, he's gotten away with being disrespectful, knowingly or unknowingly. It doesn't really matter. And it happens quick. It happens. I'm gonna work on just moving this horse. So we'll get a chance to show you right here. And so even right there, I stepped off and I asked him to move his feet, and he didn't. He stood there. And I said, okay. And so these disrespectful type horses that have that tendency, this is just a remedy. I'm not being hard on him. All I'm doing is I'm saying, instead of, so in that instance, I was wanting him to trot out, right? I'm asking him to trot, and he starts locking down, he starts pinning his ears, he starts tensing up, saying, no, I don't want to move. I don't want to do that. And so instead of potentially get into a fight under saddle, I can step off, put his feet to work and say, you're going to do what I say, and do it right now, and put his feet to work. And then I'll be able to step back on, and we're gonna go, and he's just gonna walk and trot off, no problem, and we'll quit him. Because we're getting into his mind. It's not a big deal to just do what I ask. But to some horses that are lazy, or they're used to being the boss, or a stud, that wants to assert his dominance, that is a big deal for him. So you have to just kind of have some tools in your tool belt to help you work through that situation. We're just reminding him who's in charge right here. And like I said, all we're doing is we're asking, saying, okay, just asking, move off. And if he doesn't, I tell him. And I just, take that rein towards him, encourage that forward movement. That's all we're doing. It's the same with when I'm riding him. I'm just asking him. I'm asking him with my feet. Okay, here, move forward. And if he doesn't, we're gonna, follow through however we need to, whether that's under saddle or getting back on the ground and reminding him of it. And I think that's the backside of this. Some people might say, well, are you rewarding this horse for a negative behavior of pinning his ears, not wanting to move off with your feet, that kind of stuff? But to me, it's in his mind. It doesn't really, if he's disrespectful under saddle, he's disrespectful on the ground, and vice versa. At some place, some point, it's a problem, and so we can fix it. We can fix it under saddle, or we can fix it on the ground as well. For the most part, there are things that, of course, with this horse, we want this horse to we trot off. I'm just gonna, it's still, the problem is not fixed yet, but again, that's why we have these horses. That's why we start them. That's why we put a foundation on them, and we work along on a lot of times it's just behavioral issues, and teaching these horses how to be, how to act, how we want them to act, and walking them through the process. Another thing that's going to help that disrespectfulness, again, is more forward movement. So when we do have enough handle on him to get him into the big pen, doing our follow the fence exercise, diagonals exercise, some of those different things where we're moving forward and making, and just putting miles on them, that kind of stuff will take care of that disrespectfulness, because you start to put so many miles on that horse that they start getting tired, they start wearing out, and not in, like, you're not wearing them out, like pushing them so hard that they can't breathe anymore. It's just steady miles, and those steady miles get those horses thinking about, hey, maybe there's a point to where I can rest. Maybe they start looking for that rest point, and they start wanting to mind and be respectful so that they can get that rest. See, now he trotted out better. He's still figuring out his feet and stumbling around some, and that's just all colt stuff. Figuring out how to move their body, figuring out how to carry my weight, how to be balanced. Monty Roberts, one of the first horsemen that I watched. I read some books by, and he had a movie out that was pretty cool. It was one of the first ones I watched, and in that he was describing round pen work, and he said you can essentially, in that instance of that time, it was like you can move that horse's feet so much that they start getting tired and they start looking for a way out. And that way out being, hey, I wonder if I show these signs of respect, I wonder if this person will let me rest. And some of those signs were lowering their head, licking their lips, as see, licking his lips, lowering his head. Some of those signs, and they would say, tipping their ear in towards you, and just paying attention to you, showing those signs of paying attention to you. And it's the same principle. We'll get those points by working their feet, and when they do what we want willingly, we stop them and let them rest. And we ask them to move, ask them to go step forward, and then we let them rest. And all those kind of things just get us a horse that's respectful, responsive, and a willing partner. So that'll be our review video for Deano. This is one of the first rides in the round pen, just showing where we are with him and what we're working towards getting him ready to go into the big pen and advance body work and body control, and being able to take him outside, put miles on him. So y'all be blessed, and we'll catch you on the next one.